Okay, it's 9 o'clock on Thursday, August 27, 2020. This is the meeting of the Policy and Procedure Committee. We'll call the roll, please.
Behrens,
Here.
Alt,
Here.
Sticknot,
Here.
Sure,
Yep. Okay. You have a copy of the agenda in front of you? Is there a motion to approve that agenda? Second by Mr. Alt. Are there any questions or comments about the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Are there any public comments this morning? No public comments. Committee chair reports. Mr. Behrens, Management Services Committee.
I think we're getting back the garbage bids, so we'll do that. Other than that, we'll see if we get any other reports in.
Okay, what about the Judicial Committee?
No more reports.
Okay. Mr. Sticknot, Tax Committee.
I've got nothing, but I'm sure things will appear on the agenda by next Tuesday, but right at this point, I don't really have anything.
All right, Mr. Alt, Highway Committee.
Talked to Joel Moore the other day. He has nothing but claims to report, and we discussed the possibility of moving the claims to Finance Committee, and Joel would come in and explain the claims at the Finance Committee, and we could go ahead and omit the meeting this month, go on the next month before we have a meeting.
Okay, so you're announcing the Highway Committee is canceled from this
If
coming
it's
Friday,
approved,
next
if it's
Friday?
approved by, if it's approved by this board, yeah.
Claims will go to the Finance Committee.
If you approve it or accept that report.
We accept your report.
Will you agree to go to the report recommends?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want. Please notify the committee that we won't have a meeting next week. If they want to
Okay.
hear about the claims, they'll have to come in on Thursday, I guess.
I don't have any comments that I care to make right now. We don't have any EMA man here, so I guess we'll go to the next item on the agenda, which be discussion and action on a directive from the county board meeting of August 11th to develop a policy outlining the steps to take when an employee moves from one position to another. So what you have in front of you should be two suggestions. First one is, oh, EMA is here. He snuck in.
Sorry for being sorry.
Okay, let's back up and have Mr. EMA give his report.
Excuse me. Well, over the past month, obviously a lot has been going on with COVID. We completed another step in the mass notification system that we're working on. So hopefully within a couple of weeks, we'll get an actual app set up. That'll be nice. We had some strong storms, the derecho storms, on the 10th of August that did cause some pretty widespread damage. And we had some power outages, some for over a day, but no significant or major damage. We did have a couple of large sheds that had some roof damage. We had an elevator in Beaverville get some damage, and lots of trees throughout the entire county, and so on and so forth, power lines. Overall, wasn't terrible for us. Let's see. Had some antennas installed on the roof of the courthouse, a UHF antenna and a Starcom 21 radio antenna. We've had those radios, but we've had no access from the EOC to get signal out. So finally got those antennas installed, and the radios started working. That's been a project of mine for a long time, so I'm really happy about that. Besides that, that's about all I got. We've reached out to school districts for COVID-19, making sure that they have all the supplies they need. Helped out a couple of them, the rest were already equipped. But that's my report. Any questions?
I would take issue with your statement that the storms from August 10th didn't cause any serious damage. It knocked out the telephones in this building, and that's a serious, major disruption of county service.
You're absolutely right, sir. My apologies.
As you can see, if you came in on the south side of the building, they had contractors there working on.
Yes, they're standing on my desk. My apologies. Yes, there's definitely significant damage here. And plenty of people were without power for a day. I was speaking in relative terms. I'm sorry.
Ours may not be significant or major in terms of dollars and cents, but the disruption of county business is certainly a major concern.
Yes.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will get back to what I started on the other here. Personnel policy, you have in front of you one that's copy on two sides, which I prepared as a starting point and distributed that to each one of you by email. Joe Johnson took that and has modified it and changed. Okay. This is the one I did. Yeah. Get- I'm sorry, I thought I got over these.
Okay.
They have one, the one that Jill put together too. Everybody has that. My suggestion would be we can go over this, over both of them at the same time. See what changes, if any, we want to make or how we want to handle it. First thing is, apparently, on the one that I prepared, I used the next number in the book, which there must be some other numbers there because Jill has a different number on hers. So I would defer to that number, 1069. I believe the purpose is identified the same in both of these. And the policy section is where the major differences occur, so. I think we're saying the same thing, but maybe saying it a little different way. You know, I unfortunately got the one that Jill put together late last night, so I really didn't have a chance to study it, but it may outline things in a little clearer way as to what the policy would be for those different situations. As it said in number one, the purpose is defining the steps necessary to be taken, and then really in number two, that's what we're doing. We're identifying, the policy is identifying what steps should be taken as far as what can be accomplished. When you get to the number three and number four, the responsibility and procedure is the same, which adds into it. I think the part on sick days is pretty much the same as what's covered in policy number 1034. But it's just a matter of modifying it as it applies to the situation that we're talking about here. So far as vacation time is concerned, when a person makes the change, it depends on what change they're making, they may no longer be eligible for vacation time. The other thing would be, if you're in one position and you move, say, to an elected office position where the compensation is maybe quite a bit higher, to identify what rate that vacation time will be paid out or when is the reason for identifying it the way we have. Any accrued vacation time that a person has should be paid at the rate that they were being paid when they just immediately before we made the change. Does that make sense?
Have the department heads been given this yet?
No? I thought it was something we should go over first and then give the department heads, if any changes to make.
Or you're not looking to approve it so much?
Well, we can approve it, subject to circulating it among the department heads. It's not often that we have all the department heads in here at one time, that's another reason for, maybe needing to circulate it among the department heads, I suppose.
Should we approve one
It
and
never happens that we have the department heads all here at one time for this meeting.
we should take action to at least send it to the department heads next, don't you think?
Once we agree on what we think it should say or do.
They might want to take some from part one to one form to the other, or add something that's not even.
I don't think it should be a matter of crossing Ts and dotting Is. I think if it accomplishes the purpose that we're intending, I think that should be sufficient. Any of these policies can be subject to interpretation. You can't cover every situation 100% necessarily all the time.
John, what is the sentence sick days accrued will remain in a non-accrual status? What does that mean?
Jill, could you answer that?
So basically, in our payroll software, you can set it to where their sick days that they've earned can be changed to a non-accrual basis. So basically, they won't accrue any more sick time, it'll just sit there like in a bank.
And that carries over from year to year?
Mhm.
Okay.
One of the reasons in the one that I put together on sick leave, that I put the statement in there about sick leave is an employee income protection for illness or injury, and policy number 1034 will apply, except as noted herein, is that I think people need to understand what the purpose of sick leave is, and that we're not changing it, and that it's something that can be paid out in a year, but you cannot look upon it as something to be paid for in the same way vacation time is. So you have to refer to that other policy maybe to get an understanding of what the purpose of the complete purpose of sick leave is. Another thing that we can do with this policy, if the committee would like, is that we had talked about going through our entire personnel policy manual, and we had also talked about submitting that to our liability insurance carrier for their review and comments. So we could do the same with this policy. We could now I said as a department head, but also to our liability insurance carrier and ask them to comment on it. I believe I'm correct, that Mr. Munyon has volunteered that for us. He's nodding his head yes. He's nodding his head yes back there.
Yes, we will help with that.
And I guess I'll move that we send it to the department heads and to them for review.
What are you wanting to send to him?
I would say the one that Jill typed up seems to cover the other than, you know, where it doesn't specifically state a policy.
The one labeled 1067 or 69?
69.
69.
If there's anything in the other one that you want to incorporate into that, it's certainly, you know, we can.
Sample.
Well, I guess her wording of, you know, like where you've got refer to policy 1034, she's got, I guess, I'm assuming kind of spelled out what that is, when she says benefit granted during employment shall not be paid upon termination. I haven't got the policy in front of me to actually look it up.
Yeah, that stuff came directly from, policy
Do you have
1034.
that manual? Do you have the policy manual?
I believe you have
I've
it.
had it some time, I don't, I think I still have it.
Okay. Do you have a copy of the one?
No.
Might be a good idea for us to see that all the board members have a copy of this. I can tell you that I don't look at it very often because a lot of the pages are stuck together. But nevertheless, it's. Some of these policies do interact one with the other, so I just thought, you know, sometimes it may be good to indicate that, you know, look at another one to give further information or understanding. Look at this.
I guess it's a matter of whether you want to refer to that full page.
But in the one that I put together, what I was saying is that we were gonna follow that policy except for the changes that we were making here. I mean, Jill did it as a little coming at it from a different angle perhaps.
Do you want to refer to that policy?
No, I'm just thinking, you're the one making the motion.
Well, we'll send this one for review, and if anybody wants to change anything,
Talking about 1069.
1069.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it, then have a question.
Okay, comments or questions?
Okay, on 1069 headed one here, on the bottom of 6 days, referring 6 days, not six, sick days. It says sick days can be used for length of service time or paid at half of a day's pay at retirement. Then below it, it says it shall not be paid upon termination. So is termination and retirement two different things, or how's that?
Termination will be if we fired you,
Okay.
which we're thinking about.
I could only hope.
Have any questions or comments, Charlie? Anybody else have any questions or comments? I don't know that we need to call a roll. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And motion passes. Next on the agenda, we entertaining a motion to go into executive session.
I move that we go into executive session for 5 ILCS 120/2/C1. The appointment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of a public body.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, clerk will call a roll, please.
Behrens,
Yes?
Paul,
Yes.
Sigmund,
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
I didn't catch your, what was the